Alright, welcome back to the A to Z challenge. As you can see, I'm outside again. In fact, I am filming from the family's tractor. So yeah, that's what all the hydraulics are behind me. There's a vineyard behind me. Those aren't our vineyards. Don't worry about any tractors you see over there. It won't be mine. Anyhow, I'm all the way up to R, which is for revise and resubmit. Now, being in a position to revise and resubmit is really interesting. It's a good place to be in. It means that your work has enough promise that somebody thinks that there's a little bit that could be done that would maybe fix it. Which is kind of interesting, and you're going to have a lot of feels when you get a revise and resubmit that we're not supposed to talk about. Sort of the big one is when you get a revise and resubmit, there's this little part of you that's like, oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for not just outright rejecting me. And then there's this other little part of you that's wondering, was this a revise and resubmit that was sent with, like, pity attached to it? Like, are they pitying me? Like, oh, poor little writer, you were so close. And then, because it just wouldn't be very much fun without all of the emotions tangled in, there's also this feeling of sort of, you can be kind of hurt. And you have to sort of avoid going to this place where you have the, well, if it wasn't good enough the first time, then maybe they're not the right person for me. Whoa, Nelly, slow down there. When you get a revise and resubmit, expect that your emotions are going to be a little bit hot. You're going to be coming in high, full throttle, as they say. It's because you're going to have a bunch of these emotions tearing around in your heart, and they're not going to be doing you any favors, not logically at least. And so the first thing you need to do is give yourself about 24 hours. You need to step away from the computer, get away from the email. If you need to and you're like me and you've read it like 50 million times and you've combed through it for all of the subliminal messages in the, if you revise this, feel free to resubmit it, but please be certain it's a full revisal or full revision or whatever it was that has been said to me in the past. You know, it's a good thing to get one of these. It shows that they're sort of giving you a chance, an opportunity. It's like getting an interview. And yeah, you might, your feelings might really be hurt at the idea that, you know, your initial manuscript wasn't good enough or didn't get all the way there. And then there are some agents who request revise and resubmits for everything because they want to know how you are. How do you act when the space bar hits the page? You know, some people kind of implode. Some people sort of go a little bit insane. And it's good to know if you're dealing with somebody who's going to be a crazy person sooner rather than later. That way you can be like, oh, right, well, there are other writers, and it's clear that you're crazy, so I think I'll move on now. You know, nobody wants to work with a diva. Nobody wants to work with somebody who's like, how dare you edit me? I know more about writing than Shakespeare. So these are things to avoid. So a revise and resubmit is an opportunity to show your professionalism. It is an opportunity to learn something. The first revise and resubmit I got revolutionized my writing. It was a paragraph long. A paragraph. And I was like, oh my God, I've been doing that this whole time and I did not even mean it. So, you know, these can be really useful. But they can hurt too, so nobody talks about that part. All anybody ever talks about is how it's such a wonderful opportunity, because it is a wonderful opportunity. It's really fantastic to get a revise and resubmit, but it can hurt, and it's important to acknowledge that it might hurt, and I have to admit it does make future interactions with that agent sometimes they're emotionally booby-trapped, which we've already talked about. Because they've already put some time into you, and you've already obviously put some time into them. And sometimes that works out really well, and sometimes not so well. So revise and resubmit, it is a great opportunity. It should make you feel really happy, should make you feel relieved. It should make you feel like, oh, right, I have to get back to work again. Okay. You're also going to feel a little bit of panic when you get one, because that version that you just got a revision request on is the version that all of the other agents have. Geek. Alright.